What is up, my maniacs? I'm the Awesome Maniac, and today I'm reviewing Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, also known as Jason Takes a Boat and Jason Takes the Backstreets of Vancouver. It was released on July 28, 1989, and grossed $14.3 million on a $5 million budget. It stars Jensen Daggett as final girl Rennie Wickham, and Jason being played once again by Kane Hodder. Look, I try to be biased when I review these movies, but spoiler alert, this movie is a piece of shit and is my least favorite in the series. If you guys have been watching, then you'll know that. After the disappointing box office returns of Part 7, the studio commissioned director Rob Hedden to write a script. And his main goal was to get Jason out of and away from Crystal Lake. He combined this idea with a later one, set Jason in a big city. Though the boat idea got more attention, Hedden wanted to milk New York for all it was worth. Due to the budgetary constraints, they weren't allowed to do that, and the movie suffers for it. Let's see why and get to the characters. I'll say this about Part 8, the characters weren't as forgettable as Part 7's. Julius is by far the best character in this movie, and that's even including good doggo Toby. But once again, I feel no chemistry between the leads, Rennie and Sean. That's most likely due to Rennie always seeming tired and Sean being blameder than a dry naked chicken tender. JJ and Wayne have one scene together and have more chemistry than Sean and Rennie. Speaking of JJ, she suffers from something most of the characters in this movie suffer from, and that's limited screen time. I get that having a boat full of a high school graduating class, you're not going to be able to learn about every single one, but the ones that are highlighted are bogged down by the film trying to pad the kill count. JJ seemed interesting, but is killed almost immediately. Sean's friend had like 3 scenes, but he gets kind of lengthy chase scene with the Big J. Then you get characters that are just repeats from Part 7. Blonde beachy girl Tamara is no Melissa no matter how hard she tries. Nice teacher lady is about as bland as Miss Shepherd was. But Macaulay, he was a way bigger dick than Dr. Cruz, so I'll give this movie that. Then there's Rennie. It's not that I don't like her, it's just I don't care for her. The only thing interesting about her is that she's a writer, but even that has no plot relevance other than her using the pen as a defensive item to thwart Mr. Voorhees. At least in Part 7 I care about the final girl, but I can't say the same here, which is why I'm giving characters a brand new Tina rating, as in Tina from Halloween 5. That's my new lowest rating for characters. On to the story. Whew boy. I've got a lot to say about the story of this movie. For example, it fucking sucks and doesn't make any goddamn sense. For starters, this movie feels less connected to other movies than the movies have before. At least those felt connected. Like, why and where did Jason get new clothes in between 7 and 8? Because he's not wearing the same shit he was in 7. Why is he a pale color instead of the brown rubbery color he was before? Then we get to stuff that really doesn't make any sense. Like, why does this brand new mask have an axe scar when it's a brand new mask? And also, where the hell did the rest of the graduating class go for half the movie? Like, we see them when they get on the boat, but then up until that point where they get off the boat, you don't really see that many. You only see like the main group. Don't tell me Jason killed them all, because there's no way he could have killed that many quietly and with nobody noticing. And oh yeah, how the fuck is a lake connected to the ocean? Why does he hop on the boat in the first place? What in the last 7 movies has indicated that he would want to leave Crystal Lake? In the final chapter, when he was brought to that morgue, he made his way back to Crystal Lake. Even in the next movie, he makes his way from Ohio back to Crystal Lake. So for him to randomly decide to take a cruise makes less sense than him being brought to life by a pole struck by lightning. A few more tidbits before I get into the meat of it. Everything about young Jason is stupid, like all of it. Especially him looking like a regular kid with a full head of hair. Also, the movie seems to try to set up the deckhand as a possible killer when we know he's not, because we see Jason on screen for most of it. That's another problem. And another problem is the dialogue. It's not the greatest. Like when McCulloch and Nice Teacher Lady are talking, it's just a big old exposition dump.
So you gonna talk about New York?
Well, I haven't even talked about New York yet. Well, let's get into it then. For starters, I guess fuck anybody else that was on that boat when the main group got on the lifeboat. Another question: how long did it take them to get from the cruise ship to New York? Because they were only on the ship for like 1 day. Then we finally reached the backstreets of Vancouver. New York. Immediately the peeps get robbed and Rennie gets drugged and almost raped. Hey Kelvin, how accurate is that?
Yeah, I would agree with that analysis. That's pretty much what does end up happening when they all arrive in Manhattan.
Anyways, Jason chases them, yada yada yada. Then we get one of my favorite scenes in any of these movies, which is Julius versus Jason. This man laid everything he had on Kane Hodder, and Kane just took it. Then we got that awesome ass kill with Jason punching his head off. Throughout this whole chase scene, Jason cares about nobody except Sean and Rennie. Although he does stop to throw future Jason Ken Kersinger into a mirror and scare the shit out of some street rats. This all leads to the sewers where toxic waste will flood the city, or flood the sewers. Fucking stupid, but that's how Jason is defeated this time around. Although we do get a look at his melted ass face when Rennie throws some toxic waste at him. Movie ends with best boy Toby reuniting with Sean and Rennie, and the three of them walk off together as a killer ass song from the beginning plays again. Come on, you guys know what this is gonna get. Batman or Robin. Now on to Jason. Alright, I'm gonna start this section off by talking about his design. Like, why is he so slimy and perpetually wet, like, all the time? Also, what the hell is he wearing? But, other than the axe mark, I actually like the mask. I think the chevron, the inverted chevrons, look like tusks and gives it a more intimidating look. Kane Hodder gives the same great performance he always has as Jason, but I don't like how much they keep Jason on screen in this movie. Why is his blood slime? Like, when he pulls the pin out of his eye, it's dripping wet ooze, and it really caught me off guard. Jason teleports in this one, like, no doubt. And finally, I don't like how much I can hear him breathe. It's really distracting. Look, I'm gonna give this a Saunter rating. Definitely Kane's worst outing is Jason, but that's mostly not his fault. Look, I'm just gonna run through these. Jim just sits there as he's murdered, and it's followed by what's got to be the slowest death ever with Susie. The sauna death looks real bad, like I can really tell it's a fake body. Tamara's death made me feel for her because of her performance, so I'll give props to that. But Sean's dad's death is real bad with just a bloodless neck slit. Kelly Hugh's death fall is top notch, and McCulloch's death is real disgusting with him getting drowned in whatever that was. And I'll not forget to mention that Wayne and Rennie straight up kill people in this thing. Wayne shoots the guy and Rennie just wrecks the car, which kills a nice teacher lady. But of course, the absolute highlight kill of this movie, and one of the best in the franchise, is Jason knocking Julius's noggin right off his friggin' body. The kills in this were but Julius's raises us up to a neck snap. And of course, here are the kills. Apologize for criticizing this movie so bad because it fucking deserves it. I don't hate any movies, but this one might be a special case. I'm gonna give this a very low trash rating. I only own it because I'm an aspiring collector and my collection wouldn't be complete without this piece of shit. Shout out to everybody in the Everything Horror Facebook group. You're all beautiful people. Join me next time where the movies try to kill off the franchise for the second time. Bye bye.